Hello game fans! Now, with all this talk of Microsoft and PlayStation bringing out new updated consoles, I can see that the internet is upset by this, and I understand why. However, it makes total sense, and I wanted to explain why I think it's a good idea that we have an updated mid-life upgrade to the consoles. So this video is going to discuss and hopefully explain why the consoles need an update this early in the life cycle. So first of all, before we can look at the future, let's look at the past. History. Now, I don't want to dwell on the history for too long, but let's just look at the life cycle of some of the previous consoles quickly. Dreamcast, 3 years. GameCube and the original Xbox, 5 years. NES, Super NES, N64, PlayStation, 6 years. Wii, PlayStation 2, 7 years, PlayStation 3, 8 years. Xbox 360 surpassed everything at a massive 9 years. Now, the last generation of gaming was substantially longer than the previous generations. Technology moves on very quickly, and expecting your console to last another 10 years is just unrealistic. Macs and PCs are renewed and updated on a much more regular basis. So where are we right now? Right now, out of the gate, the Xbox One has been constantly compared to the PlayStation 4. From a technical perspective, the PlayStation 4 is a bit better. And since then, every game that is released that has been surrounded by this technical propaganda. Oh, it's 900p, it's not 1080p. Oh, it's only 30 frames per second, and so on. YouTube is littered with comparison videos, and the only thing Xbox can do is ask developers to further optimize their games to balance it for the two consoles. As optimization can take a lot of time, developers are more inclined to sort of lock certain aspects of the game in order for it to run properly on Xbox One. If Xbox wants to fix the constant bombardment of technical spin, then they need to take action. What better way to sort this out than to bulk up all the technical specs of the system whilst retaining the fact that Xbox 360 and Xbox One games will still run on the updated console. But new games on the horizon will be free of all of this negative press and comparison work. Let's have a look at the hardware. Both PS4 and Xbox One were not built to a very high specification. Xbox One more so than PlayStation 4. Many have commented that both consoles have the same spec as a mid-range PC. In its most basic terms, the current Xbox currently runs the following, and I have also compared it to what is readily available today. CPU. Both the Xbox One and PS4 run octa-core processors with a core clock speed of around 1.7 GHz. Now, I don't really understand what much that means, either does the general layman, but currently you can buy an AMD FX 9590 plus more, I think they just announced one yesterday, that runs with a speed of 5 GHz, 1.5 GHz, 5 GHz, and it's $200, and so you get nearly 3 times the speed. Now, you don't need to be a maths genius to realise that what you can get now is a lot better than what you have in your consoles. RAM. The Xbox One comes with 8GB of DDR3 memory and 32MB of high bandwidth ESRAM, which is widely used for caching purposes. The operating system from the Microsoft console eats about 3GB memory, which brings it down to a usable amount of RAM of about 5GB. In the world of PCs, 8GB is the minimum requirement for many gamers, and they prefer 16GB if they plan on running multiple applications. As the Xbox One celebrates the fact that you can run different apps simultaneously, then 16GB should be considered. 32GB is available, but it might be overkill at this time. Memory. 500GB might have sounded a lot a few years ago, but with more and more games weighing in at 50GB plus, this space suddenly looks a lot more cramped. From the outset, I added a 5TB external drive to my Xbox One, and whilst I am happy, I would like to see the updated console have 5TB as standard. With digital gaming coming to the fore, I want to have all of my 360 games, all of my Xbox One games, movies, music, apps, game clips, all readily available. The Elite did increase the size of the hard drive, and it does have this solid state drive to make the console faster when loading and swapping between apps. Variations are not new. The Xbox 360 enjoyed about 5 updates in its life cycle, which included the Xbox 360 Core, which was the entry-level console with no hard drive, the 360 Arcade with HDMI output, still with no hard drive, the Xbox 360 Pro that had the 20 gig hard drive that you could also upgrade to a 60 gig hard drive, had backwards compatibility, HDMI, and a 65 NN CPUs, whatever that means. The Xbox 360 Elite had 120 gig to 250 gig hard drive, and it had a smaller power brick. And then finally, there was the Xbox 360S or Slim, which was a full redesign using the Valhalla motherboard, which made it smaller, with additional USBs, an integrated hard drive, and additional Wi-Fi features. Virtual reality is coming! With Oculus Rift streaming to Xbox One and Sony VR on the PlayStation, virtual reality will change how we play games. And if this new trend is here to stay, then the demands on the consoles will increase. It makes total sense to upgrade the technology to support it. Whether we are strapped into a cockpit in Elite Dangerous or sat at a poker table at some Royal Vegas casino, the consoles need more power at present. The Sony VR has a mini PS4 that is required to run the VR headset. It makes sense that future consoles might integrate this technology into the main console. Okay, so let's recap. To conclude, the Xbox One is struggling and will continue to be an uphill battle unless it addresses some of the core issues which affects it. They have plenty of games, backwards compatibility, and virtual reality on the horizon. However, with every game that is released, it will be constantly compared to a higher spec machine. PlayStation were quick to release the news of the Neo, but have been very vague about what it's all going to be and very vague about the specification. My hope is that Microsoft will have learned from their mistake and ensure that the new Xbox One is more powerful than Skynet, and all the games can be enjoyed by all the gamers, and we can all just enjoy the fruits of this new super-powered console. So, if this made any sense, then it's been useful, and please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll be back with another video very soon.
Finish him!
Addiction is a strange thing. Having something consume your life and change your daily routine is quite amazing. And I've been told I have an addictive personality, and I think I probably do. And over the past couple of months, my fixation has been with Minecraft. Like many people, I saw Minecraft and I just didn't get it.